Hello, YouTube. Okay, so yes, before, like it said, there will be spoilers. So yeah, if you haven't seen Series 4 yet, go watch it because there are quite a lot of things I'm going to spoil here, and if you haven't seen it, yeah, I don't want you to get spoiled. So, yeah, you might notice I'm in a different room. Shut up, you stupid bird. Yes, there's a bird in this room as well. Truly the benefits of this room. So, yeah, I'm in a different room, mainly because my weather outside is not the best, and lighting in my main room, it's not really that great either. So, yeah, for whatever reason, the lighting in here is much better, so I'm just going to do this video in here. So, yeah, Sherlock Series 4. Can anyone explain to me why it's called series and not season? Is it a British thing? Like, I've watched a lot of other British shows. They don't call it by series, they call it by season, so I'm really confused here. Like, really, is it just specific to this show? Can someone explain it to me? I really don't get it. But, and so, yeah. Very first episode in this one is the 6 Thatchets, which pretty much, a guy is doing awful things, like destroying a statue. Terrible, how dare he? So, yeah, we eventually find out that he's destroying all these statues because one of them contains a file that will pretty much open up secrets about an organization he used to be in. And that organization just so happens to have Mary as a part of it at one point. So, Mary, after getting the file, after getting the flash drive, she then knocks out Sherlock and goes on the run with it. And she gets a little bit far, and then Watson and Sherlock just sort of catch up with her because, I don't know, Sherlock's just that good at finding people. So, and apparently whatever his name was, yeah, the guy that was also following her and that was a part of her original team, which got killed, and she pretty much tried to leave that life behind, and she did when she met, John. So, yeah, that one guy, he has now followed her back here, she kills him, and everything's good again. That is until they get back to the main case that they were working, and yeah, she dies. Bummer. So yeah, John's quite upset about losing his wife now. So yeah, for this episode, it's probably the weakest out of this series. Like, I don't know. I mean, there was just something about it that I just really didn't get into until the very end. And the main reason I got into the very ending was because of what happens with Mary. If it wasn't for that, then I don't think I would have been invested in this episode at all. Honestly, the only thing that's really good about it, to me, or at least with the overall story of it, is just sort of the humor aspects thrown in, which that's always great in this show, even for the bad episodes. And I also like learning a little bit more about Mary, as it was kind of left in a mystery last series about her past and everything. So I did like how that was unfolded in this episode. I just didn't get into this episode, though it does have some very good development for Mary in it, which is something that I think is very well needed, because she was kind of a bland character when she came in. Like, she was alright, but I mean, she was fine, and she was kind of fun, but there was no real character to her. This series, they definitely did try and put more character into her before her death, and it did work out well. And I did feel quite a bit bad about her death, so that's something. And, yeah, outside of that, though, there really wasn't that much in this one. I just sort of thought that was kind of a bland episode, outside of the ending, which was actually very well done. So, then the next one, after Sherlock has gotten a message from Mary. Yes, he got a message from her after her death, because apparently she planned for this. I don't know when she did that. She just apparently did at one point. So, yeah, after getting a message from Mary, she pretty much said, help out Watson because he's not going to ask for help after I die. And yeah, she's kind of right about that. He's seeing her all over the place and having conversations with her. He's still sane. So, yeah, he gets a new therapist, and yeah, she's not really that helpful, but then we see that a car just comes right up, and they just immediately assume that it's Sherlock. And also the car's getting chased by the police, and there's a lot of music blaring in the background. Typical entrance. So then we go back and see how we got in this situation. Pretty much, Sherlock has now fallen back into his drug addiction, which is actually really interesting to see in this episode. And he gets a case, and he turns it down for being too weird. This is not like him. So, yeah, after turning it down, he eventually decides, never mind, I'll just decide to do it anyway, and just sort of walks with the person who gave him the case. And then he starts to put together what's really going on. That a wealthy businessman is apparently has been a serial killer all along, but he's hiding it very discreetly. And so now it's up to Sherlock to unravel the truth while also being high on drugs. This will work out perfectly. And eventually he gets up to the point where he's yelling and playing music loudly and shooting at the wall. Which I guess is kind of normal for him. I mean, he does typically shoot walls whenever he's bored, so I guess it's kind of normal. But apparently this type of behavior is sort of out there for him, so Miss Hudson decides to put him in the trunk of her car and drive him over to where Watson is. Which, by the way, Sherlock knew he'd be there 2 weeks in advance. That was pretty cool. So eventually, Watson gets drawn back into the case, which he was trying to get out of after Mary's death. So he gets back into it, and they go and try to stop the villain. I forgot his name, just the villain. So eventually, that takes him to a hospital, where Sherlock gets something kind of surprising. The person who we thought gave him the case, which would be the daughter of the man that he's actually going after, she's never met him before. And then Sherlock kind of goes nuts with a scalpel, and then Watson pretty much just beats him up a bit. And now Sherlock's in the hospital, and all these injuries will heal within a week. Because that's how very, very dangerous injuries work. They heal within a week. So, eventually it's revealed that Sherlock was planning for this, and the reason why he did all this is because in Mary's video, she pretty much just said, you have to be the one in danger, so then Watson will go and help you. Apparently he wouldn't have helped her if not for Mary, he wouldn't have helped him if not for Mary actually saying to, but yeah, I guess since he watched that video conveniently at the time that he needed to, everything worked out fine. So, then he goes to save Sherlock, he does so, they arrest villain from this episode, and everything's better again. Well, Watson has a breakdown, then everything's better. And everything's back to normal. Until they find out that secretly, Sherlock has a sister. What? So, yeah, the episode ends with a cliffhanger as to whether or not Sherlock's sister shoots Watson. Does she? No. She shoots him with a tranquilizer in his face. Because I guess that wouldn't harm anything on him there. And why she shoots him with the tranquilizer? Because she needed him in her final plan, I guess. So, yeah, for this episode, it's definitely the best out of this whole series. Every single part of this episode I really did love. Seeing Sherlock's brilliant mind on drugs was really interesting to see, seeing as the show very deeply goes into Sherlock's head a lot. And actually seeing it work on drugs here, it's really interesting to watch. And really, eventually he says that he was clean for like 2 weeks, so I'm wondering, how many times did we actually see him on drugs, or how many times was he actually putting on acts? That's what I was mainly wondering at the end. But it is still a really cool thing to see, and the cinematography in this episode is great in execution of this. But that's just one part of this episode that I liked. They also do get much deeper into Watson's character, which is something that I really liked. Seeing how he deals with Mary's death is actually really kind of sad, because both of them are very likable characters, and seeing Mary just being killed off like that, it was really sad. And now seeing John go through that, it's definitely a very good moment. And it's all throughout this episode, and I really do like how it's done. And the only thing that I have a slight problem with in this episode, outside of the ending, which I'll talk about in a little bit, is the main villain. He just sort of seems like he was a villain. Like, there were tons of red flags before it was revealed. Like, they keep on trying to make you think, oh, is he really a serial killer? I'm just like, is it not obvious? Like, he's obviously a serial killer. There's just, like, the way that he acts. It's so obvious. Like, he says his favorite place is the morgue. How is it not obvious here? But, yeah, he was really the only thing I had a problem with outside the ending. Really, everything with Eurus I kind of thought was, I don't know. I just didn't really get into Eurus's story. Like, she sort of seemed out of nowhere. Like, in the next episode, they do actually try and explain her being there a bit more, but, yeah, overall, I just sort of thought that she was kind of out of nowhere there. So, yeah, for this episode, it's definitely my favorite out of this whole out of all of Series 4, and it's a lot of fun. If you're going to watch any episode, just like one of them out of Series 4, this is definitely the one to check out. So then after that one, we have The Lying Detective. And this one's alright. So, wait, no, sorry, that was the last episode. The Lying Detective was the last one. No, now we have The Final Problem. Well, since it has the word final in it, is it the final episode? No. It's going to continue on after this, thank God. So, yeah, we'll just have to wait like another 4 years or something for Series 5. So, yeah, we'll just have to wait for another few years, and then Series 5 will be out. We can all be happy. Oh, and now the weather clears up. Thanks. Yeah, I'm not going to stop doing this video in here, so I'm already comfortable in here, so. Oh, and now it got cloudy again. What the heck? So, yeah, what happens in The Final Problem? Well, it opens up with a little girl on a plane. Everyone is knocked out, except for this one little girl somehow, and she can't wake anyone up because she doesn't really try that hard. She just says, hey, wake up, Mom. Mom, wake up. She didn't even try shaking them. She's just like, wake up, please. So, yeah, after that amazing effort doesn't work, then she gets a phone call from Moriarty saying, welcome to The Final Problem. Oh my god, is Moriarty back? No. No, he isn't. Unfortunately. Although we do get flashback with him later. So, yeah, in this one, we pretty much find out a lot more about Sherlock and Mycroft's secret sister, which apparently Sherlock has no memory of because he forced himself to forget. I don't know how you would forget that you have a sibling, or how that would never accidentally come up in a conversation ever, especially when around your family, but alright. So, pretty much, Eurus was sent to an institution for kind of this little thing of murder at one point, and also plans to murder her whole family because she's a genius? I really don't get that type of logic there. It's like, oh, I'm a genius. Let me murder my whole family and my brother's best friend because they won't play with me. I don't get that reasoning at all. But yeah, pretty much she murders Sherlock's best friend as their kids, and then she's sent to an institution. But apparently this institution, people think that she died there. Mycroft knows the truth, though, that she didn't. So we sent her off to this other institution, but it's on a secure island where everyone pretty much just sort of ignores orders from the guy who decided to make the institution. Best institution ever. So, yeah, after destroying Sherlock and Watson's flat... Why? They destroy it with like a little drone with a bomb on it. It was kind of weird. So after that happens, then Sherlock and Watson steal a boat. And then they go off to the institution. Because I guess Sherlock really wants to meet his sister. So, while they're at this institution, they find out that the security here is not the best, as apparently Eurus can just talk to a guy, and then immediately they're under her control. What? How does that work? I get that she can be very manipulative, but under her control is something completely different. Manipulation is one thing, but mind control, which is pretty much what she has over the whole entire asylum, that's really pushing it. But yeah, Eurus takes control of the asylum, and now she's putting Sherlock, Watson, and Mycroft through a whole entire weird series of, I don't know, weird tests for, I don't know why she's doing tests all of a sudden, why she waited this long, as she apparently got control over this institution quite a long time ago, and why she just randomly decided, hey, yeah, I'll invite my brothers here. Oh, and also my brother has a friend, so might as well invite him. How she found out about Watson, I have no idea. Unless if Mycroft's just giving her regular updates as to what's going on with her brother, then I have no idea how she's finding out about this. She even finds out about Molly. Don't know why. Like, did Mycroft just come in one day and said, oh, hey, by the way, sis, yeah, Sherlock met someone. Like, her name's Molly. There's something there. If you ever want to get revenge on me for locking you in an institution, she might be someone to go after. Okay, well, bye. Nice for that family visit. So, like, is that what happens? Like, I really don't get it. How'd she even know about these people? But, she's been locked in an institution for years. Pretty much her whole life, even. I have no idea where she's getting these updates from, unless if it was from her little visit with, Moriarty, but even at that, that's kind of a stretch. I mean, like, yeah, Moriarty knew Molly, but I don't think that he knew her well enough to actually bring her up in general conversation with another psychopath. Doesn't really seem like something that he would do randomly, just like, oh yes, I'm the biggest enemy that your brother has. Oh, and by the way, I dated this one girl that he knows. Like, why would that come up in conversation? So, Yeah, the very first test. Shoot this one guy or else I'll kill his wife. And pretty much he's begging them to do it, but eventually they won't do it, and he decides to shoot himself. Then Eurus kills his wife. Then we go on to the next thing, and they pretty much gotta solve this one murder of these three brothers. Pretty much they gotta find out which one of these three brothers killed this one person. Eventually and if they don't find out in time, they all get dropped. So, like, they're all hanging on ropes outside of a window. So, eventually they decide on one, and then Eurus drops the two innocent ones, and then decides, might as well drop the third one, only to be fair. So she drops all of them, and yeah, that was kind of a pointless challenge, seeing as they solved it and actually did what you wanted there, so I don't know why you did that. Like, before, she killed the wife because they didn't listen to her. Now, they are listening to her and doing what she wants, and they still destroy it. She still decides to kill all of them. Doesn't really make any sense there. But, anyway, then they go on to the next one. Pretty much, there's a bomb in Molly's apartment, and then they just gotta... Pretty much what they gotta do here is just have Sherlock say, "I love you," and get Molly to say that back. Why? Apparently that's a needed thing. Eurus needed to see if he would say, "I love you." Why? I have no idea. So, then after that, I think that one was the final challenge, and then they were all separated. Oh, wait, no, I think there was one after that, but I forget what it was. Like, oh, yeah, Sherlock had to shoot either Mycroft or Watson. And he decides to shoot neither, and then he's gonna shoot himself, because I guess that'll work. And after Sherlock decides to do that, Eurus pretty much decides, well, if you're going to go that far, I won't let you do that. So, yeah, knockout gas, and then they all wake up in different rooms. And Sherlock pretty much has to figure out what's going on, like where Watson is, while also trying to save this little girl on a plane. Because they're in a phone call together. And eventually we find out that little girl was Eurus. But how did she mimic her voice to sound like a little girl? I have no idea how that happened. But, yeah, anyway, that happened. Don't know why, don't know how. It just does. Sherlock has a nice little bonding moment with his sister, then immediately goes after Watson to save him. He does, and then everything is saved, because I guess Mycroft is God-free at one point. And that's pretty much it. That's the end. Eurus is locked up in an institution again. Sherlock and Mycroft's parents are pretty upset at him, and for not telling them the little info that their daughter's still alive. It's just that I have her in a highly secure institution. You know, kind of didn't come up in a family dinner. So yeah, they're kind of upset that he never told them about that. Although, I don't know why. I mean, like, really the only times he sees them is when it's at a family get-together, in which case then he's around Sherlock, who they're pretty much trying to keep the secret of Eurus away from, so, yeah, I don't really know why that would have come up in conversation, or why he would tell them there, so... Why they're angry? I guess just because he never called them to fill them in on this. Although, I don't really see when he would have time to fly over there, which this seems like a face-to-face conversation, so I don't really see any time that we actually have to fly over there to say, hey, just so you know, your daughter's still alive. I just have her in a secure institution. Bye, you guys. Bye. And just, like, leaves. I don't see when he would have time to do that. Amazingly, he's kind of busy working in the government and all. So, yeah, their reasoning for being angry at him is kind of dumb. But then we see what's up with Sherlock, and he and Watson are now fixing up their apartments. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Everything's fixed, and they're back to doing what they were always doing, solving crimes, taking care of Rosie or Rose or whatever her name was. Like, I can't remember if it's Rosie or Rose. I think it's Rosie. And then everything is saved. Or is it? No, there's no twist ending in this one. It's just, normal ending. They're solving crimes still. So yeah, this is the very first series without a twist ending. Not sure how to feel about that. So for the final episode in Series 4, I think it's alright. Like, out of all the episodes in Series 4, this one's probably my second favorite. Everything that Eurus has them go through, I think, was kind of interesting, although I do feel like Minecraft was a bit out of character here. Like, I get that he's scared of his sister, but seriously, he's always tried to be a very brave person. I don't really see why his sister's the scariest thing he's ever encountered. It really doesn't make any sense to me, so yeah, Minecraft in this whole episode, he seems very out of character here, which was probably my biggest gripe with it. But outside of that, I think it's alright. Like, everything with Eurus, I think is, like I said, it comes out of nowhere, really. Like, they do try and explain it later, but really, I just didn't really think that it made any sense. Like, oh, yes, this was secretly in his mind the whole time, and there were references everywhere, which, like, yeah, there kind of were, but there was really only a few, so it's just like, it seems kind of dumb. Although they do reference, like, this one thing in Season 1, I think. Like, I can't remember. Was the very first case in the show that Sherlock never solved was that one of the death of his friend? I can't remember. Like, I remember that they brought up this one little boy who drowned, and they never solved it. I can't remember if the kid who drowned in this episode had the same name, though. Like, if that was it, then that would actually have been kind of a nice callback. I can't remember it, though. I'll probably go off and watch Series 1, Episode 3 again, just to get myself a reminder. So, just on that, because if that is the case, then yeah, it would feel a little bit more built up too. I just can't really remember. So, yeah, everything with Eurus, I think that it's alright. I think that's kind of neat to see pretty much what Sherlock and Minecraft would be like if they were pretty much insane. I think that is kind of interesting and something that I feel like could have been pushed a little bit further than it actually was. But I still do like the way that it's done. It's not bad or anything. I just think that it could have been done a whole lot better than it was. Although, with that said, it is actually a very fun episode. Everything that goes on in it, it's still really great. And also, the cinematography, as always, is really, really good in this show. So, yeah, that's always great. And especially in this one. I love the shot where Watson and Sherlock are jumping out of a window. That was just fun. So, yeah, there were quite a lot of good things in this episode. I just feel like there were some things that I just really didn't get into here. But it's still a pretty fun episode, and definitely, after what happened in episode 2, I was definitely looking forward to this one. That's why I waited like a week to actually watch it. But, yeah, overall, for Series 4, I think it's meh. It's a very mixed bag. It's a very mixed bag series for the show. Like, overall, I think it's fine. It's just that I think there were quite a lot of places to improve on. Although, I definitely like it more than Series 3. That one was by far my least favorite series, so at least this one didn't steal that crown from Series 3. Seriously, the villain in that one was so boring. Like, he was just a random guy with a mind palace. Woo. So, yeah, that was really something that I didn't get into last series. So, they definitely did improve from last series, but I still think there were quite a lot of areas for improvement here. But it is still a very, very fun series overall, and I did enjoy watching it. So, yeah, if you haven't seen this one yet, I just sort of spoiled everything for you, but it is still a fun series, so if you haven't seen it yet, definitely go check it out. And for all those who have, I don't know, what do you think about it? Do you think it was alright, like I do? Like, I just sort of think it's okay. Although I do think that there were quite a lot of other things that could have been done with it. But episode 2 was definitely a lot of fun and by far one of my favorite parts of the series. Like, the whole entire series overall. Not just of series 4, the whole entire series. And so, yeah, I really did like episode 2. Episode 1 was my least favorite, although I did like some of it. Like, definitely the ending and the stuff that happens with Mary. And also, episode 3, that one, it's alright. Like, I could take it or leave it, really. Although we do get Moriarty coming out of a helicopter, listening to Queen, and then just sort of going insane. Which is pretty much what I love about Moriarty. So, yes, that was amazing. Although, God, why wasn't he still alive? They faked me out on that. They faked me out so much there. It's like, I thought that he was alive, and God, wasn't. Stupid show for being smart like that. Like, yeah, no, he's dead, just so you know. Moriarty, he's dead officially. Kind of sucks, really, so, yeah. It's pretty sad he's dead. But, yeah, that's pretty much it for this one. I thought this series was alright. So, yeah. Bye.